What's going on, guys? This is the new vlog from me, Lubu, and I wanted to talk to you guys. Someone asked me specifically; they wanted to know what it was like transitioning from being in the military to doing this stuff and being in the kitchen, and then making videos, and then doing video content stuff and things like that. And they wanted to ask me how the transition was, and I figured I'd tell you because I know that 99% of you have never been in the military. Um, and it's kind of a weird thing. Um, but being in the army was amazing. Being in the army was awesome. It was one of my favorite things in life ever. It was very important to me. But it was also super difficult, and it was incredibly um, trying on me. It was very exhausting. It was very tough for my family because I joined before 9/11, and then had to go to war a couple times, and it's very hard. It's hard to talk about all that stuff. I don't really like talking about most of it. But I will say that the hardest thing coming out of the military, and then coming in and trying to be a civilian again, was that I had a completely different perception of what adult life was, because I joined when I was 17 and I got out when I was 26, and it was just very different. The things that I had experienced were not shared with people around me. Um, the way that I perceived things was very different. My mental state, my attitude. Uh, you come from a place of very high like pride, and it becomes tough to deal with people because that's something that a lot of people I think don't uh, really radiate in civilian life. And it's just one of those things where it becomes difficult to talk to people because you feel like you're so alienated from them that the only people you want to talk to are other veterans or other soldiers because it's very hard. As far as getting a job after I got out of the army, that was fucking hard. That was incredibly difficult to get a job coming out of the army. I don't give a shit how many commercials they put up on the fucking television telling you that they want to hire veterans and shit. It is tough. I was an intelligence analyst in the Army. I worked for military intelligence, specifically with Apache helicopters, and it was just brutal to get a job because no job had anything that they had that was that I could qualify for given my background, and they couldn't even know what my background was because they didn't have any information on what the job systems were. Um, or my proficiencies or anything of that because most of it was classified, like 99% of it. So it sucked for me because I couldn't even get college credit for my training um, for any of it. So I was just shit out of luck, basically starting over as a guy out of high school, but 27, 26. So it was very hard, and I immediately got into college. I had taken college during my time in the army because it was free, and I immediately jumped in and set up my GI Bill to go to college and try to get an education. I got a college degree. I have a degree in criminal justice, but I don't feel like being shot anymore, so I don't or shot at anymore. So I don't bother with that ever again. I just don't. And I was a bouncer, and then I kind of was falling on hard times. And my roommate was the old kitchen manager at Ballenberg, the original KM, and he said that he wanted someone to replace him so that he could move downtown to be with his girlfriend and work down there. And so we started talking and got me hired at Battle and Brew, and yeah, and from there I took over, and working in the kitchen at Old Battle and Brew meant that I was the only person in the kitchen, and it was really awesome because it allowed me to um, work alone but work through a lot of stuff and like really push myself mentally and kind of block out all the bullshit, which was awesome because that helped me to focus on my job. And I think one of the places that a lot of my creativity comes from was that I needed to be left alone and let to just kind of do my thing uh, to really kind of break out. And so that was that. Um, but I cannot understate how hard it is to leave the military and then go into a civilian job. Um, I cannot state how difficult that is for probably every veteran. Um, and yeah, I think that it's something that's very not understood, not necessarily misunderstood, but not even acknowledged. Is that it isn't easy for people in the military to come out and become civilians. It's just not. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to get a job. It's not easy to work with people that aren't military people. And I think that it's one of those failings of our society. And I think it's something that we all should really look at. If you have friends or family that are service members or ex-service members, you know, something to think about. And that's what I want to talk about. So if you guys have any suggestions about what you'd like to hear about, or what you'd like me to talk about, you can always leave them in the comments section. You can hit me up on Twitter at Chef Lubu. I am here at Gaza Media as always, and the sister company of Battle and Brew. Yeah, and y'all have a nice day.